Morning guys, how are you? Neil at Italia Autos here. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we have this Abarth 595 in. It's got a problem with a misfire on 1 and 4, I do believe. It's been to 4 garages, 2 dealers. It's had coil packs, spark plugs, it's had 2 ECUs. It's had everything thrown at it. So I'm just at the point now where I've stripped it down. So cam belt is off. I've stripped everything off the top of the engine. I've taken all the bolts out the top and the covers. So we're now ready just to pull it off and hopefully we can get it past this heat shield. And fingers crossed it will reveal what's wrong with it. So fingers crossed everything is off and out of the way. And we can just lift this off out of the way gently. Revealing the innards of the engine. Oh no, no more dropping, please, no more dropping, no more dropping, no more dropping! So these have literally just come out of the engine, and can you see the indents on top of the lifters? So they have been getting stuck and the camshaft has been pounding the lifters. So we've got the engine in better light now and you can see the damage which has been caused to the lifters. It is most of the lifters this is damage is being caused to. That one's okay. That one's okay. That one's damaged. And that one's damaged as well. And it leads to holes like that in the lifter, which means you get a misfire on the engine and all that debris goes through the engine and damages the camshafts. So I'm going to strip the rest of this down now so we can see the camshafts. And this one is totally seized in the head and I can't get it off. That's ridiculous. This is the worst one I've seen. Well, yeah, this is the worst one I've seen. So let's see if there's any damage to the camshafts, which I'm expecting there is. Yep. You see the top of the camshaft there? And chewed up. And this one here too. Any more? So both camshafts have been damaged. We've got this lobe here and this lobe here. So what's going to need doing now, you ask? It's going to need a new top end of the engine with the camshafts in it. It's going to want an oil flush, twice probably, to get any bits out of the engine. Hopefully the oil filter's caught all the bits. Otherwise we're going to need a new engine for it. And it's a 2019 plate with only 35,000 miles. Why cannot 6 garages investigate the engine rather than just guessing? Yes, I'm guilty of it sometimes. You don't want to get deep into an engine. But after 6 garages have looked at it, 2 ECUs, it's not going to be cheap. And this has caused so much more damage to the engine because it's been ran and ran and ran and ran and ran. So that's my rant over. I need to take some photos of this now and let the customer know and see what he's going to do. Join me in a second. So after a lengthy conversation with the customer, he decided it was worth repairing, which it was. So we're a few weeks later now. I've had to order a used head from Italy, and that finally arrived, and I got stung on import duty for guessing we're not part of the EU anymore. So let's start repairing it now. So first step is to clean off the engine head surface, then fit a new gasket. Make sure the hydraulic lifters are all in place and pushed right the way down, because they can fall out, so you've got to be very careful when putting them back in. And typical Neil, I don't think that's going to fit on that way, is it? So it would help if you brought it to the car in the right orientation to start with. Also note I've got the cam lock on the back of the engine, not in the front hole, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to refit the head. And now let's start fitting the bolts, which are always a challenge because they're so deep in the well. I'm just going to start putting them in first with a couple of turns. It's not going to matter what order I do them in. And you've got to be careful putting the head back in because the hydraulic lifters will tend to fall out. So you need to make sure they're pushed all the way in and don't move forward when you put them down. And the head won't fit flat on the engine because the valves are sticking up because nothing's pushed down or in time. Right, then what we're going to start doing is walking the head down, just only a couple of turns at a time on each bolt to pull that head down slowly. What I'm doing, I'm just doing them up until I can feel it tug on the head, and then I'll stop. Okay, you can feel the head's going down now, and it's going to be there because they're not going any tighter. Now, I'm not actually tightening them up, I'm just sort of making sure they're ready to be torqued up. Okie dokie. So it's 14 Newton meters to start with. Shouldn't really be telling you this, so I have to pay for this information. So I'll give you the first one, but I ain't going to give you the rest. That might be mean, but no one ever pays me for doing these videos, so. There we go, all done. Now that's done, we can put the timing belt back on. But of course, I can't see very much at the moment. So I bet you'll be able to see even less. Right, timing belt is now on. I've just done the first tension on the belt. And it was very tough to get back on, I must say. So I reckon I'm going to have to take this belt off again. Now it's on, so I can time this up properly, because I reckon it's probably going to be one tooth out by the way I've done this. Because it seems to be pulling on this very tight. And normally when it grabs onto this, it means it's going to be out of tooth. Now let's rotate the engine to find out that it is one tooth out. I can guarantee you that now. Right, so off camera I've just taken the cam belt off again, put the timing tools again in the right position, and it's, for some reason when you've got a cold belt it just stretches it that little bit, so you've not got to force it on and pull the timing out or make it so it's a bit too loose. So I've now done that. The timing marks down there are pretty much bang on. You can see those there. So we'll undo the tools again, rotate it once more, and just double check everything lines up and that the tension is still correct, and then we're good to button everything else up. Just removing the cam locking tool after rotating and retiming the engine up again. So once this is removed, I'm going to rotate the engine again, and hopefully everything is still in time. There we go, timing tool still goes in, but the tension has changed slightly, so I am going to retension that. Sorry about my shoddy camera angles, but unfortunately timing it up was just out of shot, unfortunately, so give me a slap on the wrist for that one. Just using the spanner to undo the bolt, then the tensioning tool to retension it, and then I'll use the spanner to tighten it up while holding tension on the belt. There we go, tension is bang on again. So I'm going to put this back together off camera now because it's really boring, it's just putting bolts back in. Once we're at the point where we can drain the oil, we'll change the oil filter and change the oil, and then hopefully we can get it started again. But for your viewing pleasure, I did film a little montage of me putting the engine back together, so I'm just putting the engine cover bolts on now. bolting up the mount for the air breather brackets, putting the air breather back on, putting the bolts in for it. Now we're going to move on to the bracket for the intake manifold, coil packs, and then we'll move on to doing the oil filler neck. Once that's done, onto the engine ECU. Engine mount goes back on. Jack comes from underneath the vehicle, so the engine mount will go back on. Engine covers have gone back on as well. Drain the oil, change the oil filter, and refill with oil. Blurry shot of the sump plug. Adding around 3 litres of Selena's Finest. So hopefully we're all ready to start the car now. I've put new oil filter in, new oil, turned it over by hand a few times to get the oil circulated around the top of the engine. So fingers crossed it'll start up pretty well. So that was about as how I'd expect it to sound. It will be a little bit tappy because all those hydraulic lifters need to get some fresh oil around them. So I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes now, let the oil settle, recheck the oil, top it up again if needed, and then we can run it for a longer amount of time. I've also got to top the coolant up as well. So join me in a second. Bit more oil to go in. So other than being a bit tappety, which is what I would expect until it warms up, we've got no engine misfire because it's not rocking, and no engine warning light on startup. So we're going to let that warm up now and we'll take it for a nice long test drive, make sure everything's okay. We'll come back, we'll check the oil, we'll probably change the oil again. We're going to check the old oil filter out and make sure there was no metal bits in the bottom of that. So hopefully they should have found their way through into the oil filter and stopped there. So hopefully this is the end of the damage on it now. Cool, they've all gone. Oh, would help if we put the keys in the ignition. There we go. So engine is now 4 bars up, so that's reasonably warm. Engine is nice and quiet. Revs without any misfire whatsoever. So let's then take it for a nice gentle test drive and see what happens with it. Lots of tyre noise from these tyres. Ooh. And probably the brakes as well are rather rusty. Ugh. What I'll do first is I'll just go round the roundabout, round the estates a couple of times, nice and slow, get the engine nice and warm, come back, check it, make sure there's no oil leaks or any signs of any problems. And then we'll go and take it for a long blast up and down the motorway so we can get about 30 miles out of it in total, and then I'd say that that's a full test drive with 30 miles under the belt. Yeah, really bad noise from the rear tyres. It might be, oh, it's because the seats are down, that's why. So we are now about 2 miles into the test drive. No issues to report of. The smell of burning oil has now dissipated.
Let's just take it back to the unit. I'll give it a quick once over, and then we'll take it for a big drive. So welcome back. We are now 36 miles later. No issues at all, drove perfectly fine up and down the M6. No problems at all. So we'll get this back in the unit, give it another oil change probably, so everything's nice and clean and removed out of the car. Bit of a waste of 60 quid's worth of Salina oil, but it's the best thing to do in scenarios like this where you could have junk going through the engine. So we shall get back to the unit now, get all that done off camera. So if you need any work doing on your Abarth, your Fiat, or your Alfa Romeo, I'll even do a little bit of work on Jeep Renegades and stuff like that. If you are new to the channel and you've got this far through the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because I do all sorts of videos like this, as well as my previous history of videos. I think I've got about 600 videos now. So there we go, guys, we are all done, all repaired. This can go back to the customer now. I have given it another oil change, so all the debris in the oil has been obviously hopefully taken out by the second oil change. I'd also recommend some shorter oil changes on it, maybe bring it down to 5,000 miles and change the oil, just to keep it nice and clean. So this can go back to the customer now. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one.